Okay, Feni, so let's take a look at this new set of essays you've sent us. Okay, we've got a line graph and a pie chart, so let's see what you had to say about these. The charts give information about the total income of particular trading members between 1990 and 2000. Yep, that's right. And the proportion of global share exports from 9 countries in 2000. Okay, good. According to the line, it's called a line graph, okay? So according to the line graph, the U.S. billion income doesn't make sense. No, the U.S. income, or not even the U.S. income, just U.S. income experienced an upward trend during a 10-year period, during the 10-year period, rising from around 125,000 in 1990 to about 135,000 in 1992 before leveling off in 1993. In the following 4 years, from 1993 to 1997, this figure climbed exponentially. All right, so let me see what happened here. Let's see. You said that it rose from 90 to 92 and it leveled off in 93. Okay, and then it climbed exponentially, right? Okay, reaching its peak at roughly 175,000. However, the income then decreased slightly by about 5,000 in 1999 before gradually growing to its initial spike at the end of the period. That doesn't really make sense. I know what you're trying to say, but it's not an initial spike. So it decreased slightly by about 5,999 before gradually growing. Yeah, I would have just said gradually growing to like 175,000 again at the end of the period. That would have made more sense. But yeah, that's fine. Okay, so turning to exports, it appears that the largest figures were found in Jamesland and Besland at around 90,000, followed by Andyland in second place at 75. Okay, and so forth. Timsland, Herbertland, and Fenland exports comprised, not comprised for, just comprised roughly between 51,000, 56,000. There's a thing I want to tell you about comprised. It's a word which everybody uses incorrectly. I want you to think that comprised basically means is made up of. So what you're really saying here is Timsland, Herbertland, and Fredland exports is made up of roughly between. So do you see how it's not the right word here? Okay, you needed a different word. You could have said Timsland, Herbertland, and Fredland exports accounted for roughly between. That would have worked. And Darren's lands figure was slightly under them. Careful with your typing here. At 46,990. By contrast, lowercase c, in Joeland and Peterland, the figure of the global exports was the least among the other numbers recorded. Okay, accounting for this respectively. In summary, it shows that the general trend was for trading total income to rise significantly towards the end of the period, while the distribution of income varied across the countries, with Ben's land and James lands being the largest as opposed to Joe lands and Peter lands as the smallest. All right, I'm looking at what you wrote here. It's 223 words. I realize that this is not an easy diagram to do because you have two different charts, and so you don't want to neglect either of them. And I understand that this is difficult to do. However, what ends up happening is that you really do have a lot of information. I think that 223 words might have been a little too much. Okay, so that's one feeling I have about this. You really went into a lot of analysis here. I think that you didn't have to. I think you probably could have, talked about maybe a gradual rise over the first 3 years, followed by an exponential rise, and then it stayed more or less, or it stayed approximately at those levels for the last 4 years of that period, okay? So you didn't have to say quite as much as you did there. You really got into a lot of analysis there. You didn't really have to. As for the pie chart, I thought you did a nice job of grouping here. Jamesland and Bensland, okay, fine, and then so you did some nice grouping like here, okay. Let's see, what else did I like? Yeah, no, I thought you did a nice job. I'm wondering, I'm just trying to find some ways for you that you could have cut some of these words out. I mean, maybe just even like a sentence or two to be around 200. Just felt kind of long, and I'm wondering if it took you 20 minutes to do this. I'm curious about that. So that's an answer I would like to have. But no, the rest of it was good. Let's see. No, even this was fine too. Unless you wanted to just say that, well, the distribution of income varied across the countries, with Bensland and Jamesland being the largest. You could have just stopped there. Honestly, you didn't have to go into the small because, like, it's just, again, it's just so much information. So you could have left that out. No, it was a good attempt. It was good. Like I said, I just thought that maybe you could have not included every single detail. Okay, but just partially because it was just, kind of long. All right, let's take a look at this task 2 about computers for children. Okay. Experts throughout both the developed and developing world have debated whether incorporating computational classes, we don't call them computational classes, we call them computer classes, into the education system, don't forget that, is important or not for students. While there are ineffective issues to such change, what does that mean? What is an ineffective issue? I personally believe that it is crucial for students' progress. This essay will discuss both sides using examples from the Indonesian education ministry to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay. So yeah, I mean, there were a couple of word choices that were not so successful here. Like, this word here and ineffective issues. Other than that, it's fine. So moving on. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that providing students with a computer education is ineffective and useless. The central reason behind this is that young generations nowadays, who are considered to be technology savvy, do not need formal education to understand computers as they are very familiar and aware of technology. For example, many children nowadays are able to independently operate the computer even before starting their education. In this sense, conducting computer classes would be uninteresting for students, and therefore such educational change would be pointless because students already mastered the materials. Okay, that's good. I mean, it flowed very nicely. It made sense. Okay, let's continue on and then we'll talk about it again. On the other hand, although there are negative sides to computer education, okay, the benefits it can bring cannot be overstated. This is largely because computer understanding is not merely about ability to run the device, but rather to gain computational thinking skills as one of the learning outcomes, including comparing information and synthesizing it, not them, it's information. It's uncountable. These subtle skills, however, cannot be obtained by students through individual learning only, so there is a necessity for teachers to conduct formal computer classes. For example, recent empirical research by the Education Ministry in Indonesia demonstrated that over 90% of high school students learning computers by themselves were found to enjoy entertaining features only from computers and could not perform analytical thinking and drawing a conclusion from various sources. Thus, it's possible to state beyond doubt that computer education is vital for students' academic achievements. All right, great. To conclude, from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that computer education may be unnecessary for some students. However, its positive impacts are more crucial when concerning learning outcomes without the about. This urgency will grow in importance as technology in education continues to evolve. All right, Feni, this is lovely. I like this. I thought it read really nicely. I thought it made sense. I thought your ideas were really well connected. Yeah, this is a nice, solid, good essay. All right, so well done. Let me think. Yeah, I can't really say that there's a particular area that I thought you should have improved upon. I thought it was very, very well done. Okay, so good job. Keep at it. You're doing well. Let's see more essays from you. Okay, good luck.